Hello everyone. We are moving into summer, and so many people are starting to think about sunscreens, and for the past 2 years I have been focused on the idea of finding some real mineral sunscreens that do not include any chemical sunscreens or chemical sunscreen boosters in those. And what I have found is that there are some chemicals out there that are actually just regular old sunscreens but that have never been submitted for regulatory approval, and so these absorb UV light the same way that chemical sunscreens do, and they are absorbed into the system the way that chemical sunscreens are, and in addition they are about the same chemical structure as these other chemical sunscreens. And for me, all of these chemical sunscreen boosters do cause irritation to my very sensitive skin. And for many years, I was under the impression that I was not able to wear any sunscreens at all, even if they were mineral sunscreens. But what I realized is that I was inadvertently purchasing these mineral sunscreens that actually had these chemical sunscreen boosters in them, and that was what is irritating my skin. And so since then, I have been on a mission to find real mineral sunscreens, and in many cases, those have been fine for me, and I've been able to wear them without them being irritating. And so I do think that that has been a real accomplishment for me. And so last year I did do a video where I reviewed 12 of those sunscreens that did not have any boosters or chemical sunscreens in them, and I did like a number of those quite a lot and can recommend those. And so for this year I went through all of the ingredient lists for as many so-called mineral sunscreens as I could find, and I separated out the ones that do have the sunscreen boosters in them so that I wouldn't need to be thinking about those. And then for the rest of them, I took a look at their ingredient lists, and in this video what I want to do is to talk about each of these sunscreens that have the potential, and to talk about what their pros and cons are, and whether or not I personally think that they might be good choices for me. And so if you have sensitive skin like I do, or if you are just looking to avoid chemical sunscreens for environmental reasons or for health reasons, then this is going to be a good video for you. And so I did take all of the so-called mineral sunscreens that I found, and I divided them into different lists. And so that information will be at the very end of the video, and so you can skip to that using the timestamps if you are interested. And I will note that if you are interested in tinted moisturizers that may have sunscreens in them, but that also serve as foundations, I did do a full video on that last summer, and that was in conjunction with the new product that is from Jane Iredale, which is called Skin Tuition, which I did like quite a lot. And then I also reviewed all of the 100% mineral tinted moisturizers with sunscreen in them that I could find, and I included all of that information in that video. And so I will not be discussing tinted moisturizers any further in this video. And so let's start out by talking about the sunscreens that are available at Sephora, because the Sephora sale at the time of this filming is still going on, and so some people may be interested in picking those up during the sale. And then after that, I will talk about the sunscreens that I have already reviewed last year and what I thought of them, and again what their ingredient list look like. And then we will move on and talk about all of the rest of the sunscreens that I think may be worth considering, and that will be in alphabetical order by brand name. And so let's start out with Ciele, and this is a fairly new company that has become pretty popular, and almost all of the products that they have released so far have had sunscreen boosters in them, both the sunscreens and the makeup products. And so based on this, this is really the first product from Ciele that I am actually thinking might be worth testing myself, so I am open to that. I'm not seeing any fragrance. It does have some phenoxyethanol in it, and some people do react to that preservative. And it does have some dimethicone in it, so it is a silicone sunscreen, but the dimethicone level is not really high. And that Ciele sunscreen is $38, and so I would say that of sunscreens that I would consider, that's kind of a typical price, I would think. The next one is the Dezi Skin Sold Sunscreen, and it is SPF 30, and the price is $38. And this one does have non-nano zinc, and so they are saying that in order to get that SPF 30 level, they are using 16.75% zinc, and so that is a considerably larger amount than the Ciele one, and so it is providing protection, but it may be thicker, and you may find that it is not performing as easily, especially if you want to wear it under makeup. And this one does have some silicone in it, but it is just dimethicone, and there is not a tremendously large amount of it. And it does have the preservative phenoxyethanol in it, so again, some people might be reactive to that one. This one does have quite a few skincare ingredients in it, like moisturizing ingredients, and so for instance, I see squalane and shea butter, glycerin, argan oil, and allantoin and sodium hyaluronate, and so therefore I think that this one might be one that I would like just because it does have all of those moisturizing ingredients in them, and those are ingredients that my skin usually does do pretty well with. And other than that, I am not seeing anything in this that would really concern me, and so this is one that I would be really interested in trying out. And the next two products are from a company that is called EverEden. And so this is a company that is focusing on creating sunscreens and other skincare products for kids. And so the first one is the Kids Mineral Face Cream, and it is SPF 20, and the price is $36. And this one has non-nano zinc oxide at 11.5%. And this is a silicone sunscreen, so silicone is actually the second ingredient after water, and maybe the zinc is higher, it's hard to know. And my feeling about that is that personally I'm really not that crazy about skincare that includes a lot of silicone in it. I feel like that is not really working that well for me, and that my skin doesn't really do all that well with silicones. Other than that, I think that it mostly looks okay. It has a number of moisturizing ingredients in it, including glycerin, shea butter, argan oil, jojoba oil. I do see cucumber extract, and I wonder if that smells like cucumbers. And I think that it might be the case that some kids would object to it if it smells like cucumbers, but I'm not sure how strong that smell is. And I also see vegetable oil and soybean oil, and I'm not really excited when I see that on an ingredient list because I feel like those oils can have glyphosate contamination in them, and I definitely feel like my skin is really, really reactive to anything that has any kind of glyphosate in it. So overall, I think that this one could have some potential, but this would not be the first one that I would pick, and I would guess that the fact that it is SPF 20 may make some people less interested in it as well. And then the other product from that company is called the EverEden Fluid Silk Sunscreen. That one is SPF 50, so it has a much higher level of zinc in it. And again, it's non-nano zinc, and it is $32. And this one does not have any silicones in it, and so that would make it more attractive to me personally. And it does have a lot of different moisturizing type ingredients in it. And in terms of the problematic ingredients, the main one that I see here is that it does have some algae in it. And algae can be fine, or it could actually be really good, but the problem with algae is that it has the potential of being contaminated with heavy metals or with cyanobacteria toxin or with other things that are from the sea. And like the other product from this company, this does have cucumber extract in it, so it might smell a bit like cucumbers. So I think that this one has potential, and I think the fact that it is SPF 50 could make it interesting to some people. And so if I could get a sample of this, I might be interested in trying that out. And the next product is from First Aid Beauty, and this is called the Ultralight Mineral Sunscreen. It is SPF 30, and it is $36. And so this does have non-nano zinc in it, 22%. So if you're looking for a high level of zinc, then this would be one that has it. And then other ingredients that are in the top 6 include 2 different kinds of coconut oil derivatives and 1 olive oil derivative, and then also an ingredient that's called aluminum starch octanyl succinate. And the thing that I can tell you about that ingredient is that it seems to be the ingredient that is sort of gives the YSL eyeshadows their magic sort of blendability. And so when I see this in a sunscreen, I think that's a little bit interesting to me because I think it may give it a special kind of a texture that you otherwise don't see in a lot of sunscreens. So I would be interested in trying it out just for that reason because I haven't seen it in many products like this. And then this does have some additional moisturizing ingredients in it, including jojoba oil and squalane and glycerin and some green tea extract. And in terms of problematic ingredients, this again has phenoxyethanol in it, so not everyone likes that. And other than that, alumina, by the way, is not an ingredient that I'm really concerned with. And that 7 from EWG, that is really only if you inhale it. And I have not personally found that alumina, when I see it on an ingredient list, is problematic for me. I think it is a form of aluminum that is not absorbed very easily through the skin. And so all in all, I am interested in this one, and so I would at least like to get a sample of this and try it out. And then we have 2 different sunscreens from a company that is called ISDIN, and this is in their photo line, and these are both SPF 50. And so the first one is the Actinica one, and this is $46, and this does have non-nano zinc oxide, and it is 11%. And so this sunscreen does have fragrance in it, and the fragrance is not specified, and so I would guess that this is a synthetic fragrance, and so that does eliminate it from my consideration right off the bat. It also has a whole bunch of different kinds of silicone in it, and so one of those is a cyclic silicone that is in the top 6 ingredients, and then it has a number of other forms of silicone in it, and so I think that the silicone level in this, in terms of the total, is pretty high. And it also has a bit of alcohol in it, so some people are concerned about that. And nylon 12, that would be a plastic in it, and so some people are not crazy about seeing that on an ingredient list. And then the plankton extract, again, I think that that could be something that could be contaminated. And then the other product from this company is also SPF 50. This is $50, and this is the one that they are calling ageless. And it looks to me like it is very similar in terms of the formula, but one thing that it has in it that does concern me quite a bit is the pentapeptide 34 trifluoroacetate, and that is a PFAS ingredient, and my skin does react really, really badly, generally speaking, to anything that has those Teflon type ingredients in it, and so that is another reason why I think I would do really poorly with that. The next one is from a company that is called Josie Maran, and this is the Argan Sun Milk, and it is SPF 33, and the price is $46 for a regular container and $17 if you want a smaller container just to try it out. And when I look at the ingredient list, first of all, this one includes titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and I think that that is fine, and I actually seem to do pretty well with products that do have titanium dioxide in them. In addition, it has just a bunch of other skincare ingredients in the top 6, but it does have natural fragrance in it, and then it also has limonene and linalool and cinnamols. It also has an ingredient in it that is called DESM, and that is technically falling into the category of it being a sunscreen booster, but from what I can tell, that is a categorically different sort of a chemical than the sunscreen boosters that are like the Butyloctyl Salicylate or other regular sunscreens. And so I think that that one actually may not be absorbing UV rays, and instead it may just indeed be helping the mineral sunscreens to spread out better or otherwise to perform better. And I'm not absolutely sure of that, but so far I have tried a few products with that ingredients in them, and that those have not been irritating for me. But for me, I think that the natural fragrances, and also this ingredient that's called tromethamine, that is one that I think may be problematic for me based on my experiences with other products that contain it. And then the next one also does have some natural fragrances in it, and so this is called the Kora Silky Sun Drops, and this is SPF 30, and the price is $58, so this is a bit more expensive. And it has zinc oxide, and it is 17%, and I didn't see that they were specifying whether it was nano or non-nano. And what I see on this is that it does include quite a lot of oils that are relatively expensive. And in terms of the fragrance ingredients that are in this, one of them is rose geranium oil, and I do know that I seem to have a frank allergy to rose geranium oil, and that even if I use it on my body, I do react to that, and so I definitely avoid that. And it has rose centrifolia flower oil in it, which is a type of rose, and my skin really doesn't like rose oil very much either. It also has some silica in it that is labeled as coming from algae. I find that to be a little bit odd, and so I don't know if that is something that should be mildly problematic. And so in general, this is not one that I would try, but if you do well with essential oils and you like these ingredients, then I think that it might be okay. One thing that I will say about these expensive oils that are in this, though, is that they do have the potential of going rancid fairly quickly. So it may be that your sunscreen will expire before the oils go rancid, but definitely it is the case that both chia seed oil and raspberry seed oil, and to a lesser extent some of these other oils, they can go really, really nasty when they go rancid. And then next we have a sunscreen that is from a company that is called Lion Pose, and this is called the Unghosted Sunscreen. It is SPF 42 and it is $39, and I did review this last year, and actually the one that I have is labeled as being called Ghostbuster, but I think that they probably got hit with a copyright lawsuit for that name, and so they changed it, and the ingredient list does look the same. And so this was a product that was created from a group of dermatologists that have an association with Harvard. And so I think that this is a sunscreen that has worked pretty well for me. And so this does include a new kind of non-nano zinc in it that seems to be able to provide a fair amount of coverage without it looking white, which is why it's called Unghosted or Ghostbuster, and that does perform pretty well in terms of not seeming really thick and not seeming really unpleasant to wear. And so this is a sunscreen. It doesn't have silicone in the first 6 ingredients, but it does have some dimethicone in it, and I think it has been pretty wearable for me. In terms of the skincare ingredients that are in this, it includes squalene and glycerin in the first 6 ingredients, and then also a coconut oil derivative, and it includes a number of other ingredients that I think could be good, including one that is Quercus suberbark extract, that is cork bark extract, and there is some literature that suggests that that can be anti-aging, and so that is an ingredient that actually does interest me. And I am not really seeing any ingredients in here that concern me, but this one does have cucumber fruit extract, and I do know that this one has a pretty strong cucumber type smell to it, and so it is natural, and I don't find it to be so offensive that I wouldn't use it, but there are quite a few people on the Sephora website that have said that they found that smell to be really distasteful, and that makes this particular sunscreen unusable to them. But in general, this is a sunscreen that I do really like and that I would recommend. And the next product is called the Naturally Serious Mineral Sun Defense. It is SPF 30 and it's $36, and I see on the front of the container that it says that it is from June Jacobs Labs, and I have never heard of that before. And in terms of the ingredients, it has both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it, and the zinc oxide is at a pretty high level of 19%, and then the titanium dioxide is also at a pretty high level compared to other products. And this one looks like it is primarily a base that is like a moisturizer, and so it has a number of ingredients in the first 6 that I think look like they might be pretty good, including a macadamia nut oil derivative and 2 coconut oil derivatives and a fermented ingredient, which I always do like to see, especially toward the big top of a ingredient list. And then it has a bunch of other high quality, it looks like, skincare ingredients in it. So all in all, I think that the skincare in this does look good, but it does list natural fragrance, and so that all by itself is enough to make me a lot less interested in it. The next one is from a brand that is called Paula's Choice, and this is called the Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense, and it is $39. And this does seem to be a product that a lot of people have tried, and some people report good things about it, and other people report that they have reacted pretty badly to it. And in terms of the ingredients, this does include 13% zinc oxide, and from what I've been able to tell, this is supposed to be a nano zinc oxide, which probably is why it has an SPF of 30, even though it only has 13% in it. And this is primarily a silicone-based product, and so the first ingredient after water is cyclopentasiloxane, which is a cyclic silicone. I also see other kinds of silicone in this product, and so I think that for me that is one reason why I would not be that interested in it. And then it does have some seaweed type ingredients in it, and that is of concern also. And the next product is from Saie, and this is called the Saie Sun Visor SPF 35, and it is $35. And I have not tried this yet, but I have tried the Saie Slip Tint, which seems to me, based on the ingredients, to be a tinted sort of a version of this. And I think that this Saie Slip Tint was pretty good. And in terms of the ingredients for this one, it has non-nano zinc oxide at 15%, and then also in the first few ingredients it has coconut oil derivatives and sunflower oil, and then a number of other moisturizing type ingredients, including hyaluronic acid, and there's no fragrance, and there's comfrey leaf extract, which I think is fine when you're using it externally, at least as far as I can tell. And so all in all, I think that this one will probably be sort of similar as the tinted one and probably be okay for me. And I actually do have this little container of it, and so I do intend to give this a try this year. A sunscreen that I reviewed last year, and that was actually one of my top 2 sunscreens for me for everyday use in general, is the St. Jane Luxury Skin Ritual at SPF 30, and this is $38. And I found that this one is particularly good for use with makeup. So if you have makeup that you would like to wear on top of a sunscreen, then I think that this one could be a good one to start with. And in general, I found this to be a really good product, regardless of whether I was wearing makeup, and that it did kind of disappear into my skin, and my skin seemed to like it quite a bit. This does have silicone in it, and the silicone is the third ingredient after water. This is just dimethicone, and I think it just has that dimethicone in it, just one kind. And it also has some moisturizing ingredients in it. I do see that it has some flower extracts in it, so these are not oils, but they are extracts, and so I think that I can smell a tiny little bit of a floral scent in this, but it is not a sunscreen that has irritated my skin at all. And it has jasmine extract in it, and that may be the thing that is the most scented about this. And I personally love the smell of jasmine, and I don't seem to find this one to be irritating, and so I was really happy about this. And it does have some phenoxyethanol in it for people that find that to be problematic, but my experience with this one has been really, really good. The next product is from Shiseido, and this is called the Urban Environment Mineral Clear, and it is SPF 50, and the price is $39. And so Shiseido does have quite a few different sunscreens in packaging that looks kind of similar, and so if you're interested in this one, then you want to make sure that you get the right version. And in terms of the ingredients, this one has both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and from what I can tell, these are both nano versions, or at least I haven't found anything that suggests that they are non-nano yet. And it is a silicone-based foundation, so dimethicone is the first ingredient actually before water. And after that, it also has another silicone in the first 6 ingredients, and then a couple more. And so I think that this is a very high silicone formula, so that makes me personally less interested in using it. But for people that don't mind a silicone-based product, then this one may be okay. The other things that I see in this are sodium metabisulfate and also dipropylene glycol. And I feel like both of those are kind of iffy in terms of my likelihood of reacting. It does have, interestingly, a number of different ingredients in them that look like they are kind of like Chinese herbs. And so I find that to be potentially a positive, at least as long as you don't react to those herbs. And it also has some glycerin and sodium hyaluronate in it. So this one seems to have less oil in it, and it seems to have more hydrators in it. And so if you have skin that's oily, but you would like for there to be more hydrators, then this could be a good thing. In general, I think that this could be a possibility for some people. And the next product is from a new skincare brand that I am actually interested in general, and so I may try to do a full brand review on this particular brand. I think that they are targeting more young people, but when I look at the ingredient lists in general for their products, I think that a lot of them look like they may have some potential. And so this particular product is called the Sincerely Yours Sunny Side Up SPF 30, and it is $39. And it has non-nano zinc oxide as the main ingredient, and that is only 10%, so I find that to be interesting. In addition, this is a silicone-based foundation, and so silicone is the third ingredient after water. And then it also has some coconut oil derivatives and olive oil derivatives, and then sodium hyaluronate and ceramide and P and allantoin. So I would think that even if you don't have really dry skin, that this one might be okay for you. It may not be real greasy. And in addition to the silicone, it has phenoxyethanol in it if you are reactive to that, and a seaweed in it. But otherwise, I think that for a lot of people, this one might be okay, and I would be willing to give that a try myself. Now, Supergoop is a company that makes a wide variety of sunscreens. That is all they do. And most of those sunscreens do have chemical sunscreens or chemical sunscreen boosters in them. But they do have a few sunscreens that do just have mineral sunscreens in them. And so the first one is called the Supergoop Mineral Glow Screen, and it is SPF 40, and it is $40. And the zinc oxide level is 15%. And this one is silicone-based, and it does have some skincare ingredients in it, including coconut oil derivatives, strawberry seed oil, which could go bad, by the way. And in general, though, I think that this one seems to be pretty promising. It does look like it is tinted. It does list mica on the ingredient list, and so this one might have a bit more shine in it than I would prefer, but in terms of the ingredient list, I think that this one might be okay, especially if you do like a sunscreen that has silicone in it. Supergoop also makes a product that is called the Mineral Matte Screen SPF 40, and so this is available in a regular tube for $40 and in a smaller tube for $19, and this may be the $19 tube, which looks like a little bit on the small side, but I did want to just try it out. And so the ingredients in this includes both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and the zinc oxide is at a level of 17%, so that's pretty high. And SPF 40 is also pretty high, and this is silicone-based, and so it includes 2 different kinds of silicones in the first 6 ingredients, actually the first ingredient in general, and then also it has some coconut oil derivatives in it, glycerin, and wild butterfly ginger root extract, so that it's supposed to be a skincare ingredient, and then 2 different kinds of fermented ingredients, so that is something I do like to see. So in general, I did feel when I looked at the ingredient list for this that this might have some potential, which is why I ordered this tube. I didn't realize it was going to be quite so small in appearance, and so I do want to give this a try and report back. Now, still another product from Supergoop is called the Mineral Unseen Sunscreen, and it is SPF 40, and it is $40. And this one I did actually buy during the sale that is at Blue Mercury, and so I did get a discount on this one, and I thought that the ingredient list looked like they might be good enough that people might be interested in hearing about this one, since Supergoop is a really popular company. I do think, though, that I recall last year hearing at least one or maybe more than one person who tried this out in terms of YouTube content creators who really, really disliked it. And so I am not sure how I'm going to feel about this one. And so if I look at the ingredients for this one does include both zinc oxide at almost 18% and titanium dioxide. So I imagine that it is pretty thick and pretty high coverage. And then it also has a couple of different forms of silicone and some coconut oil derivatives. So I feel like this one might be close to being the same formula as that mineral matte screen, except that it is supposed to not be something that you see on the skin. And then Supergoop has another product that is called the Resetting 100% Mineral Powder, and it is supposed to be SPF 35, and it is $35. And I'm not sure what this is exactly used for. I think that it may just be something that if you put on your sunscreen at the beginning of the day and then you put on makeup over it, then maybe you are supposed to use this on the top of it to make your sunscreen last for longer, but I'm not even absolutely sure about that. In terms of the ingredients that do concern me a bit is the polymethyl methacrylate. I feel like I have not necessarily had good experiences when I've seen that in ingredients lists in the past, and it is an acrylate which some people do try to avoid. And it also has nylon in it, which is like plastic. And so all in all, I don't feel really enthusiastic about picking this one up, but I would be interested in hearing how people are using it if you are. And then I think a similar powder to that one that is from Supergoop is this one from Tarte. And so this is called the Tarte Creaseless Mineral Powder. It is SPF 30 and it's $37. And so it has zinc oxide in it, and then it has a few different skincare ingredients in it, including passion fruit oil that could go rancid, but maybe not so much in a powder. And also it has some kaolin clay in it, so I think that compared to the Supergoop one, this is probably more oil absorbing, which kind of makes sense because Tarte tends to be a brand that is targeting really young people. And also jojoba esters, and it has vanilla, real vanilla fruit extract in it, so I do find that to be a good thing, and some coconut oil derivatives. And in terms of problematic ingredients, in addition to the real vanilla, it also has vanillin in it, and so I find that to be less appealing. And other than that, I don't see anything that I think is really problematic except for some people that phenoxyethanol. And so now let's move on to the sunscreens that I've already tested and reviewed. And so again, I really did like the ones that are from St. Jane and that are from Lion Pose and that I talked about just a couple of seconds ago. And I do recommend these pretty strongly. And then for the rest of them, I will talk about these in alphabetical order. And so the first one is from Badger. And Badger makes a variety of different sunscreens with pretty basic ingredients, and they are reasonably priced. And most of these seem to be ones that a lot of people that have really, really sensitive skin like, because the ingredients tend to be more on the natural side. And so they make a variety of different products, and the one that I picked up is one that is a bit more on the higher SPF side. This one has SPF 40, and this is the sport version, but all of these are fairly similar in terms of the ingredients. And my experience with this one was that I thought that this was a pretty good sunscreen for my body, but that when I put it on my face, it was kind of on the greasy and thick side, and so I was less inclined to use it for that. But I think that if I really needed to get a lot of sun protection, and this is what I had, I would not really object to wearing this one either, and it is relatively reasonably priced. And so some of these products include silicone and some of them do not. And so this one that I have, it does not include any silicones in it, and so that may be why it came across as kind of greasy. And maybe I should try out some additional Badger products because maybe they are a bit different depending on which one you have, and maybe it would be good for me to compare those because some people, especially people that are really interested in clean beauty, they do tend to really like this one, and it is reasonably priced. And the next sunscreen is from a company that is called Blissoma, and this is a small company, and the name of the product is the Photonic Sunscreen SPF 30, and it is $68. And I think in terms of performance, this is really, really good. It has an ingredient list that is really impressive to me. And in terms of how it performed in terms of working under makeup and feeling good on my skin and feeling more just like a regular moisturizer and less like a sunscreen that is uncomfortable or difficult to wear, I really am very, very impressed with this one. For me, the issue with it is that it includes an ingredient that is called phenethyl alcohol, and that is a rose type of a scent that is used as a preservative, and so it could be derived from roses, and in this case I think it may be derived from roses, and then it also can be made in a lab. And so it does have a mild rose scent to it, and I just seem to be especially reactive to both rose oil and rose geranium oil and to phenethyl alcohol, which is used, for instance, in a lot of Kosas products. And so for me, if I put this on over a primer, like for instance the Ilia Base Face Milk, then I seem to be able to use it okay, and it's not as irritating. But in general, I just tend not to use products with phenethyl alcohol in them because my skin really doesn't like it. Now this one does include 13% zinc oxide. It includes a couple of ingredients in it that I think have the potential of going rancid because they are higher quality oils, including blackberry seed oil and sesame oil. And it also has niacinamide in the first 6 ingredients and 2 different fermented ingredients. And then in addition, it has a lot of other skincare ingredients in it, including squalane, Centella asiatica, and ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle, and a variety of other high-quality ingredients, including squalane. And other than the phenethyl alcohol, I don't see anything in it that I think is likely to be problematic for me. And so I think that if you don't have an issue with phenethyl alcohol, that this one could be worth trying. One disappointment that I have is that one of the sunscreens that I reviewed last year does not seem to be on the market this year, and so that is this one that is from Biossance, and Biossance does have a sunscreen that is available this year, but that one does have sunscreen boosters in it, unfortunately. The next sunscreen is from Bubble, and Bubble is a company that has 3 different sunscreens this year. So they have one that is a chemical sunscreen, they have one that is a sunscreen stick that I will talk about shortly, and then they have this one which is a regular cream version that I did review last year. And so this one is called Plus One, and it is SPF 40, and it is $19. And my feeling is that with regard to sunscreens that are fairly reasonably priced, I think that this one is quite a good deal and that I have liked it quite a lot. And so the ingredients in this one include zinc oxide, which is at 15%, and then it has cocokind caprate, which is a coconut oil derivative, and some glycerin, and then in smaller amounts it has a whole bunch of skincare ingredients, including things like raspberry seed oil, which could go rancid, but it's in a fairly small amount. And the only ingredient in this that I think that might be problematic for some people is the phenoxyethanol, which is a preservative. But in general, I do think that as products go, that this one is a relatively reasonably priced one, and that especially considering the price, I do like it quite a lot. Another company that I think is sort of a competitor for Bubble in that they sell at Ulta, and they provide a variety of different products that are fairly high quality for the price, is Cocokind. And so they have a sunscreen that is called the Daily SPF 30, and it is $25. And in terms of the ingredients, it has 21% zinc oxide, it has a couple of different coconut oil derivatives, and glycerin, and aloe, and argan oils. So all of the top ingredients in this one look pretty good to me. And it does have some algae in it, so that concerns me a little bit. And in general, I thought that this one performed pretty well, but to my recollection, I think that this had a bit of a white cast, and so that would be concerning for people. And I think especially if you have skin that is darker than mine, then that might be an issue. The next sunscreen is the one that Angie Hot and Flashy, who is another YouTuber, said was her favorite mineral sunscreen of all time. And this is called the Healthy Skin Lab Protect Tinted Moisturizer. This is SPF 50 and it is $43. And so this one does have quite a bit of shine in it, and it also is tinted, and so it may not be appropriate for all skin tones. And I think that Angie likes that because she wears foundation just about every day, and so she puts this on and then she puts the foundation over it, and so therefore that shiny thing is not problematic for her. I think that if you just use this on its own and you don't put a foundation over it, it may not be as good. And so this product has both zinc oxide and titanium dioxide in it, and both of those are supposed to be non-nano. This does have cyclic silicones in it, cyclopentasiloxane, and then some other silicones in it as well. And so my impression is that Angie does use a lot of silicone-based foundations, and so the fact that she would like a sunscreen that is very high in silicones does make sense to me. And in terms of skincare ingredients, it has some sodium hyaluronate in it, and it looks like vitamin C also. And so in general, I think that this is a very high silicone foundation. And in addition, it did irritate my skin a little bit, and I am not sure why that was the case. I don't see anything on here that seems like it should necessarily be irritating, but I did have problems with it. And for people that are sensitive to phenoxyethanol, that preservative, then that does have some of this in it also. And the next product is from Live Tinted, and this is called HueGuard 3-in-1 Sunscreen SPF 30, and it is $34. And one thing that I will say offhand is that I know that at least in the past that Live Tinted has another sunscreen that is SPF 50, but that looks kind of similar. And that one does have sunscreen boosters in it, and so that is one that you will want to avoid if you are trying to avoid sunscreen boosters. And so this particular product has non-nano zinc oxide at 18%, and then also coconut oil derivatives, and has a bit of sea buckthorn oil in it. And in terms of problematic ingredients, I don't see anything that I think would be really problematic. It does have T-butyl alcohol, which some people may object to. In general, I do think that this one is very similar to the bubble one, except it is much more expensive. But in terms of the performance, that is the one that it reminded me of the most. And so I do like the performance of this one, but unless you can get it on a good sale, I think that a lot of people would be just as happy with the bubble one. The next product is from Naked Sundays, and this is called Collagen Glow SPF 50, and last I checked it was $25. And most of the Naked Sundays products do include sunscreen boosters or else chemical sunscreens, and this one I think is the only one from Naked Sundays that does not, that I've been able to find. And some people do really, really like this one quite a lot. And so this includes non-nano zinc oxide, which is 23%, and it has baobab oil as the first ingredient, and so it does have a lot of high-quality moisturizing capabilities in it, and that it also has some coconut oil derivatives and some other high-quality oils in it as well. And so my feeling about this one is that when I put it on my skin, it did take a long time to dry down, especially if I put on the amount that you are supposed to in order to get SPF 50. And so I think that probably if you're going to use this, then you need to put it on sort of first thing in the morning and then like wait quite a long period of time. And I have had some people tell me that when they do this, that they are able to wear makeup over it and that it has worked for them. And so I think that that is a possibility, but again, it just is a very thick formula between all of the moisturizing ingredients and the zinc, and so not everyone will like that. The next sunscreen is from my favorite body care company, which is called Necessaire, and so this is $35, but you do get a really large amount of it, which is 5 ounces because it is supposed to be a body sunscreen. And I have not used this on my face, but my husband, I did ask him to give it a try, and I thought he was just going to put it on his body, and he did put it all over his face. And he did comment that it was kind of on the greasy side, but I think that it was okay for him using that as well. And these are really, really high quality ingredients in here, so I don't think that you can't use it on your face, but it does have a lot of oil in it. And so in addition to the non-nano zinc, which is 20%, this one includes coconut oil derivatives, squalane, and glycerin, and shea butter, and sodium hyaluronate, and so it does have a lot of moisturizers in it. And then it also has some niacinamide and a couple of other skincare ingredients. And I do not see anything in here that would concern me in terms of my thinking that it's likely that this would be problematic for people. And so in general, I think that this, as a body sunscreen, as it is intended, is quite a nice one. And then the final sunscreen that I reviewed last year is one of my favorites, and this is from the Outset, and this is called Hydra Sheer SPF 30 for $44. And I would say that of all the sunscreens that I reviewed so far, that this one and the one from St. Jane are my favorites, at least when it comes to putting it on my face. And so this one actually is not in stock anywhere as far as I've been able to find, and so it is out of stock on the Outset website and on Credo and on Nordstrom and other places, but they are now removing the listings, and so I think that there must just be a delay in terms of getting in the products for this year, and so I'm hoping that it will come in soon. And I do think that this sunscreen, it has non-nano zinc in it, but it is a newer form of zinc oxide, and so I do think that it is one of those zinc oxides that sort of disappears on the skin, like the one that is from Lion Pose, and therefore that even though the zinc oxide level is pretty high and it's not nano, it sort of does disappear into my skin without giving a white cast. And in terms of the first 6 ingredients, I see argan oil in it, which is especially nice. And also it has niacinamide snow mushroom extract, which is an ingredient I do like. And then the ingredient that is the cassia one, that is a type of a botanical ingredient that acts a lot like hyaluronic acid, and so it's a natural form rather than one that is made by bioengineered microbes. And so I do like that about the Outset, that they are using that kind of a hydrating ingredient. And then it also has some ceramides, and I see a fermented ingredient and some sunflower oil. And so in general, I do think this is a really nice formula. It is non-silicone, and I think that it does work well on my skin, including under at least some kinds of foundations. And in terms of problematic ingredients, it does have some phenoxyethanol in it, which some people do find to be problematic. But other than that, I do not see anything that concerns me at all. And I have had really, really good experiences with this one. And next I will talk about all of the rest of the real 100% mineral sunscreens that I have found. But before I do that, I thought I'd take a quick break and address some of the topics that people tend to bring up in response to videos that I have done in the past about sunscreens and sunscreen boosters. And so first of all, until a couple of years ago, there was a school of thought that was arguing that the chemical sunscreen boosters actually were not working as chemical sunscreens, and that instead they were just helping the mineral sunscreens to work better by, for instance, making them more spreadable on the skin. And I think that, at least for me, that argument was put to rest 3 years ago when a group of dermatologists from Harvard came out with the paper that did look at 2 of these chemical sunscreen boosters, both Butyloctyl Salicylate and ethyl Ferulate, and in their testing they did show that these actually did absorb UV light and that they were absorbed into the body. And these do have chemical structures that are very similar to approved chemical sunscreens like octisalate. And so my feeling is that that is pretty conclusive proof that those are actually working as real chemical sunscreens. And since that article has come out, I have not heard of anyone that I consider to be really credible who has suggested that these are not chemical sunscreens. Now, another chemical sunscreen is Tridecyl Salicylate, and that one is very, very similar in terms of chemical structure to octisalate and also to Butyloctyl Salicylate. And then this year I have been looking at an additional one that seems to also have a very similar chemical structure, and that is called ethylhexyl methoxycrylene, and that has popped up in a number of sunscreens that are on the market now, and at least for me, that is one that I am also intending to avoid because I think it is very likely that that is functioning in the same way as the other ones are. Now, while I was taking a break from filming this video, I did watch another video on a channel called Doctorly, which is brand new, and this channel is run by two dermatologists, and I do usually like this channel. And so what they said in this video is that there are 3 additional sunscreen boosters that people might be aware of, and so I did spend some time looking into these. And of these 3, I do think that it is seeming to be the case that the one that is called butyloctyl benzoate may actually be a sunscreen in the same way that other chemical sunscreens are sunscreens in terms of how it absorbs UV light and being absorbed into the system, and the chemical structure is the same. And so that is one that I will try to be aware of in the future when I look at ingredient lists. I don't know that I have seen it in any sunscreen products so far, but I am really interested in it. The other ones very well may be serving to increase the SPF in sunscreens, but it seems like they are very different in terms of their chemical structure. And from what I can tell, people are more suggesting that these are helping conventional mineral sunscreens to perform better rather than actually serving as sunscreens themselves. And so I would be interested in looking at ingredient lists to see which sunscreens might have those in them. And so if you happen to see any of these 3 ingredients on a sunscreen label or on my slides, then please do let me know about that. And then second, what I want to clarify is that I am not trying in this video to suggest that no one should ever use any chemical sunscreens or chemical sunscreen boosters, and I think that the decisions that you make may be dependent on what your particular circumstances are. So in addition to how irritable your skin is, also what your risk tolerance is, and whether or not you are going to be spending a lot of time in the sun, and what your preferences are in terms of how the sunscreen feels on your skin, and a variety of other things like that. Now, one thing that I will say is that even if you don't mind using chemical sunscreens, and even if they are not irritating for you, and even if you are not concerned about the potential health risks from them, that it probably is going to be the case that you're going to be getting less protection from UVA rays than you would if you were just using a pure mineral sunscreen, because all of these sunscreen boosters do not protect very well against UVA. And so that is something to consider when you think about what it is that you're trying to achieve by wearing sunscreen. Now, one other thing that I will bring up is that I'm going to be discussing in this video all of the real mineral sunscreens that I was able to find, regardless of what their SPF is and regardless of how much zinc they actually have in them. And I do think that sometimes people make an argument that unless a sunscreen has SPF 50 or unless it has 20% zinc, that that is not providing sufficient coverage. And what I would like to suggest with regard to that in terms of how I think about it is that using a sunscreen is not the only thing that I am doing to protect my face from the sun. And rather, first of all, I think that one major thing that I'm doing is anytime I am outside at all during the sunnier months of the year here in the upper Midwest, that I do wear an SPF 50 hat with a wide brim like this one, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. And this particular hat is from Sunday Afternoons, and I do have a whole collection of hats from that company, and I do think that they have worked really, really well for me, and that I do not mind wearing them. And then in addition, I tend to really avoid going outside during midday, at least not for very long. And if I do go outside, I do try to spend all of my time in the shade. And I do walk my dog for an hour or 2 a day, every day, all summer and all winter. But I tend to do that in the summer only in the early morning hours or in the early evening hours when the UV rays are not very bright. And so what I have found is that if I do that, then my skin on my face actually doesn't get darker at all during the summer, so it certainly doesn't get burnt, and I have not had any kind of a sunburn at all on my face in the 20 or so years that I've been doing this. And in addition, my skin just doesn't get darker during the summer. And what I do see, for instance, on YouTube is that an awful lot of people that are using sunscreens, especially ones with chemical sunscreen boosters in them, or chemical sunscreens in general, is that they do report needing to switch to a darker shade of foundation in the summer, which I think is really a sign of a sunscreen failure. Now, it certainly is the case that if I'm going to be outside for an extended period of time during midday, which does happen, then in that case I do rely on sunscreens, and I do put them on right before I'm going out, and I don't try to wear them with makeup, and I do put on the recommended amount so that I am getting the full amount of protection that it says on the bottle. And I think that that is helpful, but I don't think that that is the main way that I am protecting my skin from the sun. And so what I would suggest is that if you are only using a sunscreen as your main protection and you are going out all day, or you're going to the beach, or maybe if you live in a place that is very, very sunny, then it may be the case that needing to use a higher SPF could be really important for you. But what I would also suggest is that if you are not doing any of those other things that I am doing to protect your skin from the sun, then regardless of how high the SPF of your sunscreen is, that might not be enough, actually. Now, those of you who watch my channel regularly know that there are certain ingredients that always do irritate my skin, and that I know are irritating for many other people with sensitive skin as well, and so I just usually don't talk about any products with those ingredients on this channel. And so, for instance, unspecified fragrance is one of those. Now, for this sunscreen video, because I wanted to present as many alternatives as possible, I'm not excluding the sunscreens that do have these problematic ingredients in them, but as we talk about each of the sunscreens, I will bring up those problematic ingredients. And I will say that I have come to the conclusion that it's really better for me personally if I do not use any skincare that has any kind of fragrance in it at all, even if it is a natural fragrance or an essential oil or anything like that. And so for me, I don't think that I likely will be testing any sunscreens that do contain any kind of natural fragrances, but that does not mean that I am saying that you should not be using them if you find that natural fragrances are okay for you. And so now let's move into talking about the rest of the sunscreens that I have found that appear to be 100% mineral, but that I have not tried yet and that are sold at other places besides Sephora. And so the first one is the Acure Seriously Soothing Day Cream. This is SPF 30. It is $21, and it does not seem that this is non-nano. I believe that it does have nanoparticles in it, and the zinc oxide level is 20%. And in addition, it has a couple of ingredients that look like they may be a bit moisturizing in terms of being derivatives of coconut oil and olive oil, and has some niacinamide in it. And in terms of problematic ingredients, the only one that I think that might be problematic for me is the Tanacetum annum flower oil. So I think that a lot of botanicals do irritate my skin, and so I would guess that that one might be as well. Other than that, I think it looks like it might be okay. The next sunscreen is from a company that is called Agency, which I believe is a subscription-based service, and that you cannot buy this in any stores. And I have heard some people say some good things about this particular skincare company. And so this is called the Agency Silkscreen, and my understanding is that this costs $36 per container if you buy it through this subscription service. And if I look at the ingredient list for this, it has zinc oxide at 13%, and it is not stating, I don't think, whether it's nano or not nano. And in terms of the main ingredients that are in this, it does include some coconut oil derivative in the first three ingredients, and then a few other moisturizing type ingredients, including glycerin, argan oil, bisabolol, niacinamide, and sodium hyaluronate. So I think that that is a good collection of skincare ingredients. In terms of the ingredients that might be problematic, this is a really heavily silicone foundation, it looks like. So even though it doesn't have any silicone that I'm seeing in the first 6 ingredients, it does have several kinds of silicones listed after that. And other than that, I think it looks like it may be all right. I'm a little bit nervous about the Lorth 12. I think that that could have some contamination that could be problematic. But other than that, and other than the phenoxyethanol, which can be an issue for some people, I think that this one doesn't look too bad. Next, we have a company called All Good, and they have a number of different sunscreens, and so I picked out a few different ones to talk about. And so the first one is called the All Good Anti-Aging Facial Moisturizer. This is SPF 50. And this one, they did not include an ingredient list that was in order of the amount of product that is in there, but in terms of the zinc oxide, it has 20%. And then of the other ingredients that are skincare ingredients, I see that it has some bentonite, a number of different botanicals, glycerin, jojoba, niacinamide, some vitamin C, some sodium hyaluronate, squalane, tocopherol. And so this is anti-aging in that it includes a lot of skincare ingredients in it, but it does not include any retinol or anything like that in it. In terms of problematic ingredients, I see that it has hydrolyzed wheat protein in it, and so some people may feel that they may react to that. And it also has cucumber fruit extract in it, and so it conceivably could smell like cucumbers. And so I would be willing to try this one out. And then another sunscreen lotion from this company is called the Mineral Facial Sunscreen. This is SPF 30, and it is less expensive at $19. In terms of the skincare ingredients that are in this one, it has a lot of the same things, and it has some raspberry seed oil and sodium hyaluronate and grapeseed oil and argan oil. And so in general, I think the skincare ingredients in this look good. There is an ingredient in this that is called arachidyl glucoside, and EWG is giving that one a 3, and I don't know if that is one that I would react to or not. I don't recall seeing it in any other products, and so I would be willing to try this one out as well. And then they also make some sunscreen sticks, and so the one that I took a look at is just called the All Good Mineral Sunscreen Stick. It is SPF 30, and it is $11. And so this one really mostly just has moisturizers in it, and then some wax, and a little bit of tapioca starch to bind it together, I would think. And so the oils that are in this look like they're pretty good quality, and these include jojoba oil, sesame oil, avocado oil, cocoa butter, coconut oil, shea butter, buriti oil, and most of those were organic. And this particular product has coconut flavor in it, and I think that they do make some sticks that do not include a flavor like that as well. The next product is from a natural and organic type of a skincare company that is called Anne Marie, and a lot of people with really sensitive skin do really like their products, and so this is called Sun Love, and I did pick up a bottle of this. This is SPF 20, and it is $52, and I have not tried it out yet. In terms of the ingredients, this one includes non-nano zinc, and then other than that, it really is just including a variety of different kinds of high-quality oils and a few waxes. And so the oils that are in this include sunflower oil and hemp seed oil, olive oil, pumpkin seed oil, and avocado oil. And I think that most of these look like they are organic ingredients. In terms of the scent, this one includes lavender oil in it. And I have not found that I actually react to lavender oil. My skin seems to be okay with it. And so that is why I went ahead and purchased this product. And then the next product is from Australia, and this is called Australian Gold Botanical Tinted Face Sunscreen. It is SPF 50, and it is priced at $13. And it includes both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. And this is silicone-based, and it does have a number of different silicones in it. And the first ingredient that is before even water is cyclopentasiloxane, which is a cyclic silicone that is considered by some, including the people that make the regulations in Europe, to be worse for the environment than other silicones. But whether or not that is worse for the skin, I'm not convinced. Otherwise, in terms of problematic ingredients, it has phenoxyethanol, which could be irritating for some people, and it has a seaweed extract in it, which could be contaminated. But in general, this ingredient list looks pretty good. And I am seeing a couple of other moisturizing type ingredients in it. This does have eucalyptus leaf extract in it, and that may give it a bit of a scent, and I doubt that that would be irritating for me. I seem to react more to essential oils than I do to extracts, but I still would be a little bit careful with regard to that. And the next product is from a company called Avena, and this is called the Haute Protection SPF 50, and it is $44. And it looks like it is a cream that you spread on with your fingers, and that it doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a flat type of a container. And so for this one, it includes both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and it does have a lot of silicone in it. In terms of skincare ingredients, I'm seeing squalane and a coconut oil derivative. This one does have a bit of talc in it. I don't necessarily consider that to be a big problem. Otherwise, it has phenoxyethanol in it. The ingredient that I'm not that crazy about seeing here is polymethyl methacrylate. I think that that one might be a bit irritating for me based on my experiences in the past. And also, not everyone likes to see BHT on an ingredient list. I'm not sure that that has been irritating for me, but a lot of people do try to avoid that. And so I might be willing to try this one. Next, we have a product from a company that is called Babo Botanicals, which is sort of a clean beauty company that includes a lot of organic type ingredients and that tends to be more natural. And so what I see is that it includes both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and the zinc is at 15%. And then it has a lot of different skincare type ingredients in it, although I do think that things like the raspberry seed oil could go rancid, and also the sunflower oil. And in terms of problematic ingredients, it includes rosemary leaf extract, so some people could react to that, and arachidyl glucoside, which I'm not sure about for me. And I am not seeing anything in this that looks like it has any kind of silicones in it or ingredients that I think would be problematic for me in that way. I think it looks like just a kind of a moisturizer with some sunscreen in it, and so I would be willing to try this one. Next, we have an expensive sunscreen that is from a company called Beauty Stat, and this is called Universal C Skin Refiner, and it is SPF 50, and the price is $85. And so the reason that it has that C in the name is because ascorbic acid is the first ingredient after the dimethicone and maybe after the zinc. And so that is quite a lot of ascorbic acid that is in this product, and not everyone does well with ascorbic acid. A lot of people do find that one to be irritating, so do keep that in mind. It does have dimethicone as that first ingredient, but that is the only silicone that is in the product. And then it includes a variety of skincare ingredients, including the coconut oil derivatives and also green tea leaf extract, and it does have some wheat germ oil in it if that concerns you. And so this is a really expensive product, and I am not sure that my skin really likes ascorbic acid that much, and so for those two reasons I probably won't be buying it, but I would at least be willing to give it a try. And now we have another Australian sunscreen, and this is another drugstore type product, and this company is called Blue Lizard. And Blue Lizard does have a wide variety of sunscreens, so if you're looking for one that does not include chemical sunscreens or sunscreen boosters, then you will need to be really careful about that. But the one that I have found that does not include those ingredients, as far as I can see, is called the Sheer Face Mineral Sunscreen SPF 50, and it is priced at $19 in the US. And so in terms of the ingredients in this product, it has both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. I'm not seeing any ingredients in this that really concern me a lot. It does have some sodium lactate in it, which is sort of a chemical exfoliator, and so some people may not like that, but I don't seem to have problems with that myself. And it also includes a variety of skincare ingredients that I think could be good, including some shea butter. And so other than the fact that I'm a little frustrated that I can't see what the main ingredients in this one are, I do think that in general I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be willing to try this one out. And then Blue Lizard also has a sunscreen stick, and this is SPF 50, and it is priced at $10. And so in terms of the main ingredients that are in this, it includes mostly just good quality oils, including shea butter and coconut oil, sunflower oil, jojoba oil, squalane, cocoa butter, and coconut oil derivatives, and it has zinc oxide at 20%. And so if you were looking for a stick sunscreen, I think that this one has potential, and it does have castor oil in it. And the thing that I feel is problematic about castor oil is that it does tend to go rancid, and I really don't like it when it goes rancid. The next product is from a company that is called Blueline, that focuses on methylene blue, which is a supplement that some people take internally, and that is also included as a skincare ingredient in some products. And so this is called the Blueline Blue Vado Sun Fix SPF 21, and it is $58. And so this one does include titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and it does include some other skincare ingredients in it. And I would not use this one because it does include rose geranium oil in it, which I am allergic to, and it also has some citrus oils, including bergamot oil and grapefruit oil, and then also lavender oil. And other than that, it has phenoxyethanol, and a couple of PEGs are in this product, and some people might be concerned about that as well. Boom is a company that was founded by a model named Cindy Joseph maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And so this has a target audience of people who are over 50. And in general, I think that most of these products do tend to be quite clean in terms of their ingredient list. And so I did pick up this product, and this is called Boom Sun, and this is SPF 30, and it is priced at $32. And in terms of the ingredients that are in this product, it just has titanium dioxide, and that is at 7.2%, and I don't mind that at all. I actually like titanium dioxide as a sunscreen ingredient. Other than that, it has a number of skincare ingredients in it, including several different coconut oil derivatives, argan oil, squalane, rice bran extract, bisabolol. It does have rosemary oil in it, and so that does make me a bit concerned, and I haven't tried this one out yet, but I do want to do that soon and get back to you in terms of what I think of it. Now, as I said earlier in this video, I did really like the Bubble Plus One sunscreen, and so Bubble this year has a new sunscreen which is in a stick, and this is called the Sunrise Mineral Sunscreen Stick. It is SPF 40, and it is $15. And in terms of the main ingredients that are in this, it has zinc oxide at 25%, which is why the SPF is pretty high. And in terms of the skincare ingredients in this, it has a lot of shea butter and a lot of safflower oil, which could be contaminated with glyphosate, so that makes me a little nervous. And then it has a number of other oils, including argan oil and squalane and some aloe juice. And so in general, I think that this one looks pretty good. I'm not seeing anything problematic in this. Now, CeraVe is a company that tends to be brought up when people say that they have sensitive skin, and I have tried a number of products from this company, and I have not had really any success with any of those products. I do find that all of them have been irritating for me, and I haven't really liked the way that they have performed very much. And so this is called the CeraVe Hydrating Mineral Sunscreen. It is SPF 30, and it is $17. And this one includes both zinc oxide at 10% and then also a good bit of titanium dioxide. And in terms of skincare ingredients, it does have a few of those, including a number of different ceramides and sodium hyaluronate and niacinamide and a coconut oil derivative. But in terms of the problem ingredients, I feel like especially this ingredient that is called bihydramonium methosulfate. I think that one is one that I don't like at all, and that is one that tends to be used in, for instance, hair conditioners. And I think maybe if I don't get too much of that on my skin, I think it's okay for me to use it in a hair conditioner. But for me to use that in a skincare product, I think that that's not a great idea. And other than that, it includes a few other ingredients that I think may be problematic for me, including triethylamine, which I think actually is irritating, and then ethylene acrylic acid copolymer. That one makes me a little bit dubious as well. Salicylic acid, I think that my skin can tolerate it if it is not in really large amounts. And then this has 2 preservatives in it, phenoxyethanol and chlorphenicin, which makes sense because this is a drugstore brand, and so it needs to withstand staying in the warehouse for a long period of time. Another ingredient in this that I thought that I would mention has the initials of DESM, and this is supposed to be a sunscreen booster, some people say, but it seems to have a very different chemical structure than the chemical sunscreens that have been approved or the chemical sunscreen boosters like Butyloctyl Salicylate, and I have not found when I have used that before that it has irritated my skin, and so I'm not specifically trying to avoid that one personally. Now the next one is from Cetaphil, and this is sort of a competitor to CeraVe, and this is another drugstore brand. And so this is called the Everyday Sunscreen SPF 40, and it is $14. And I've only tried a few products from Cetaphil, and I wouldn't say that I've had very good experiences with them, but I have not tried all that many of them, and so I'm not willing to say that probably there are no products from this company that I would be interested in using. And I did have someone comment to me that this was a sunscreen that they really liked and that they had done well with. This does have both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it. And then also it has some other skincare ingredients, including allantoin, caffeine, and glycerin. So this one looks like it may be appropriate for people that have oilier skin, and I think it may be the case that a lot of young people do like this brand. In terms of problematic ingredients, this one does have a fair amount of dimethicone or other kinds of silicone in it, and it has benzyl alcohol, which has a little bit of a scent and can be irritating to me, I think, if it has too much of it in it. And it has chromium oxide greens in it. I'm not sure when they needed to use a colorant in this particular product, but in general, I do think this one looks much better than the CeraVe one, actually, and so therefore I would be a little bit willing to give it a try. Now, Counter Beauty is the reincarnation of Beauty Counter, and so this product is called the Counter Daily Sheer Defense. It is SPF 25. It is $45, and this is the same formula that Counter Beauty was selling back when it was Beauty Counter. In terms of the skincare ingredients, this has a variety of them, including some squalane, glycerin, coconut oil derivatives, and organic sunflower oil and sodium hyaluronate. And so I do think that this one is probably moisturizing. And other than the phenoxyethanol, I'm not seeing anything in this that should be bothersome. And the sunscreen ingredient that is in this is zinc oxide at about 15%. The next product is called the Dr. Few Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. It is SPF 30, and so this is a line that is from a dermatologist, and the price is $85. And I picked this up on the Blue Mercury site on sale, and so I thought that I would give this a try. And I first heard about this from one of the subscribers to my YouTube channel, and she said that even though this was really, really expensive, that this was by far her favorite sunscreen that she had tried, and so I thought that I would like to give it a try myself. In terms of the ingredient list, this one includes zinc oxide at 25%, and then it also includes shea butter, coconut oil derivatives, and then jojoba oil, glycerin, and sodium hyaluronate, and so a nice mixture of different kinds of oils, and so it's really just a moisturizer with some sunscreen in it, and I think that based on the ingredient list, I should at least be able to tolerate it, and so I am looking forward to giving this one a try to see how it performs and getting back with you on it. Dermatology is a brand that some people like in terms of skincare in general, and so this one is called the Dermatology Physical Tinted Moisturizer SPF 44, and it is $31, and this one includes both titanium dioxide and zinc, and the zinc is at a level of 10%. This is a silicone-based product, and cyclopentasiloxane, which is a cyclic silicone, is the first ingredient after water, and then it includes another silicone in the first 6 ingredients, and then a few more silicones, and so this is a really heavy silicone product. Other than that, I see that it has glycerin, sodium hyaluronate, and so those are both hydrators rather than moisturizers, so we don't think that this one probably will be oily. I doubt it will be oily. And then it also has a sorbitol palmitate in it, which is a form of vitamin C. And in terms of problematic ingredients, other than all of those silicones and other than the phenoxyethanol, I'm not seeing anything that I think would be problematic. So I think that if you like a silicone-based type of a product, this one might be an okay one, I would think. The next product is called Dune, the Mineral Melt. It is SPF 30, and it is $30, and this one is for sale on Blue Mercury, and so I did really think about purchasing this one when I was buying a bunch of stuff from Blue Mercury to try out, but in the end I wasn't sure that this would be as good as some of the others. This one does have titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it, and it is a silicone-based product, so dimethicone is the third ingredient after water. It does have some glycerin in it and some coconut oil derivatives. And this one also has carrot root extract, carrot seed oil, and beta-carotene. So I think that's a little bit interesting. I'm wondering if it has sort of an orange color to it. And in terms of the problematic ingredients, I see a few ingredients in this that I think could be irritating for me. So in addition to the phenoxyethanol, it has benzyl alcohol and propylene glycol in it, and so I'm not sure that I do really well with those, depending on the amounts of them. And it also includes an acrylic that some people do try to avoid, and canola oil, which can be contaminated with glyphosate. The next product is from a little indie company that is called Earth Harbor, and this is called the Eclipse Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. It is SPF 30, and the price is $38. And so this one includes non-nano zinc at a level of 19%, and then it also has caprylic capric triglyceride, which is a coconut oil derivative, and also some glycerin and aloe juice. And it does have some algae extract in it, so that one concerns me a little bit because it could be contaminated. And shea butter and jojoba. And so my question about this one would be whether it performs very well or whether it's just sort of a clean beauty type of a formulation that does not perform all that well, especially with all of that non-nano zinc oxide in it. And so I would be willing to try it, but I am not sure that I feel confident enough about it to have that be one of the big priorities. The next product is called 8th Day Rejuvenating Moisturizing Primer. This is SPF 30, and it has a very high price of $140. And the reason for that appears to be because it has a lot of skincare ingredients in it, and so in particular it has a mixture of a whole bunch of different peptides. And so in theory, those peptides could be good for the skin. And then in addition, it also has sodium hyaluronate and some fermented ingredients, and so those skincare ingredients do sound good to me. On the other hand, this is a silicone-based product, and it includes both dimethicone and cyclopentasiloxane, and my feeling about that is that if you include all of those peptides in a product with all that silicone, I'm not convinced that all those peptides are actually going to get to the skin. And so therefore I am wondering if this product actually would be very helpful. And so that makes me kind of skeptical about even thinking about considering it. Other than that, it has phenoxyethanol in it, and it does have some lactic acid in it, and I think that I probably would not be irritated by this product, but that price is really, really high, and I would hate to spend that much money on a product and then not have the ingredients that are making it cost so much money actually be helping my skin. So I'll probably skip this one. The next product is called Elementra Mineral Sun Protection SPF 50, and it is $61. And it does seem like it has a very simple ingredient list. It has both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. I do think that those may be nano versions. And in terms of skincare ingredients, it just has glycerin and magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts. and I do not see anything in this product that I think would be problematic, and so I do think the idea that this is an elementary type of a formula that is just really down to the basics does seem to be accurate, and so I would be interested in hearing a little bit more about this one. It is pretty expensive, and so unless the formula of this allows it to perform really well, I think that it is a little bit high in terms of the price. The next product is from Elta M.D, which is a company that I hear people talk about sometimes, and this is called the UV Physical Sunscreen SPF 41, and it is $52. And what I will say first about this one is that it does have a PFAS ingredient in it, which is perfluoroonyl dimethicone, and so that is an ingredient that I do believe would irritate my skin, and so therefore this is a product that I would not purchase, and I'm a little bit surprised that it's still on the market. And there are some other ingredients on the problem ingredients list that I think also might be irritating for me. And so I don't think this is a good one for me. This one does have both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it. And it really doesn't have too many ingredients in it that I think would be all that great for the skin either. And so this is definitely one that I will skip. The next product is a brand that I have never heard of before, which is called Emma Lewisham, and this is called the SunCeutical Mineral Face Cream SPF 50, and it is $62. And this one does have natural fragrance in it, as well as limonene and linalool, and so that is a reason for me to skip it. And I also am not sure that the propylene glycol or the glyceryl polymethoxycrylate would be great for me. This one has just zinc in it. It has 20%, and it does have a few skincare ingredients in it, including a palmitoyl tripeptide 1, and I would guess that that is one of the reasons that the price is so high. And it also has niacinamide and some coconut oil derivatives, but in general I am not seeing a good reason to purchase this one, and those scent ingredients make me feel like it probably would be irritating. Now, Evan Healy is a product company that I do think uses good quality ingredients, but the unfortunate thing for me is that most of their products do have essential oils in them, and so that makes them a little bit irritating for me. And so there have been a few products in the past that have not had those essential oils in that I've really liked. And fortunately, this new sunscreen that they are offering, which is called the Sheer Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30 for $30, this one does not have any scent ingredients in it, so I am kind of happy about that. This is a zinc oxide product with 20% zinc, and it has a number of different skincare ingredients, including sodium hyaluronate and raspberry seed oil and a couple of green tea extract and calendula extract and some squalane. And so in general, I think this one looks like it could be good, and I would be interested in picking this up and giving it a try. The next product is from a company that is called Farmhouse Fresh, and this is a very small company, but I do think that this product may have won an award at some point, and this is called the Elevated Shade Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30, and it is $46. And this does have natural fragrance in it, and so that makes me not want to purchase it. And it has a couple of other ingredients in it that I also am feeling kind of dubious about, and that I think also could be irritants. In terms of the positives for this particular product, it does have a number of good skincare ingredients in it, including a macadamia nut derivative and some coconut oil derivatives, and niacinamide, sodium hyaluronate, flaxseed oil. And so in general, I think that for some people that do not mind a natural fragrance, that this one could be worth trying. But for me, I think that this is probably not going to work. Now, Pharmacy came out with this new sunscreen last year, and it did sell on Sephora briefly, but I don't think the reviews were very good, and they did remove it from their site pretty quickly, but it is still available on the Pharmacy site, and this is called the Green Defense Sunscreen SPF 30, and it is $44, and it is a zinc product with 18% zinc in it. And in terms of what I am seeing on the ingredient list, I think that This one is not really seem to be designed for people with drier skin. It doesn't really seem to have any kind of moisturizing ingredients in it at all. And so that would be one reason that might not be really enthusiastic about it. And for me, it has T-butyl alcohol in it. I'm not sure that that is something that I like to see. And a ractyl glucoside. And in general, I just suspect that this may not be performing all that well. And so I don't think that I will probably pick it up. And I think that this may be on its way out. The next product is called the SEPHORA Everyday Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30, and it is $55. And I guess what I would say about this one is that it looks like it probably smells really good. So it has a variety of different herbs in it, and orange oil, and chamomile, and lavender, and red clover oil, and so I think that that could be a very nice scent and that I would actually enjoy the scent, but whether or not those ingredients would irritate my skin, I think that they very well might, and so that is a disincentive for me. But if you like a scented product, then maybe this one could be one to consider. This one has both non-nano zinc oxide and non-nano titanium dioxide in it. And other than that, it seems to be primarily just oils of different kinds. And I do see wheat germ oil, so if you have an issue with wheat, that could be something to consider. And I also see seaweed extract, and so conceivably that could be contaminated. And it has carrot oil in it, so I wonder if it kind of has an orange tint to it. And so in general, I like the fact that this has a lot of organic ingredients in it and a lot of high-quality oils, but for me, I'm not sure that this would be a good product to invest $55 in. And then we have another scented product, which is called Frey Protect Me SPF 30, and it is $35. And so the scents in this one include limonene, citral, geraniol, and lavender oil, and then another kind of a essential oil. And so that is really too much fragrance for me. I think that would be a mistake for me to try this one. It has zinc oxide, and I believe that it is nano. And then other than that, it has several different kinds of coconut oil derivatives and sunflower oil and argan sprout cell extract and argan oil. And so some of those ingredients could be okay, but for me, I'm going to skip this one. And then we have another fragrance product, and this is called the Goldfadden M.D. Lumi Shield SPF 50, and it is $48. And so this one includes natural fragrance, limonene, and a eugenol, which is like a clove type of a scent. And so I don't think that I would do well with those. It includes non-nano zinc oxide at almost 17%. And in terms of problematic ingredients, I also see propylene glycol and dipropylene glycol, and I think that could be a little bit irritating for me, and also phenoxyethanol. And in terms of the skincare ingredients, it includes some vitamin C and niacinamide and sodium hyaluronate and glycerin and a couple of other ingredients that might be nice. And it does have dimethicone in the first 6 ingredients. And so I think this is not the right choice for me. And then this sunscreen from Juice Beauty also does have some scent ingredients in it. And so this is called the Juice Beauty Sports Sunscreen SPF 30, and I think it's still priced at just $20. And it has non-nano zinc oxide at 20%, and then also apple juice and white grape juice, and so it actually does have juice in the product. And also some vitamin C and sunflower oil and jojoba oil. And in terms of the scent ingredients in this one, it includes phenethyl alcohol, and this is an ingredient that smells like roses, and it could be obtained from roses, but it generally is an ingredient that is made in a laboratory, and I do find that one to be generally irritating for my skin. And it also includes a couple of different essential oils, as well as bitter orange extract and grapefruit extract. And so I don't think this one is a good one for me, and it also does have some silicone in it in smaller amounts for those who are trying to avoid silicones. Kari Gran has a sunscreen that is called Essential SPF 30, and this does have a pretty basic list of ingredients, and it is $55. So basically the ingredients in this are just really high quality oils, as well as the sunscreen and a little bit of wax. And so the oils that are in this include red raspberry seed and plum seed and macadamia oil and avocado oil and jojoba oil, and most of these ingredients are organic. So I do think that in terms of the quality of the ingredients that are in this, I think it's probably good. Whether it's something that I would want to put on my face, I'm not sure. And I do think that if you buy this, that you should probably try to use it up pretty fast, because some of those oils I do think will go rancid. Then we have a product that is from Kate Somerville, which I think is sold at Ulta maybe, and this is called the Hydrocate Illuminating Drops SPF 50, and it is $55. And I do see fragrance on the ingredient list for this, and I'm not even sure if this is synthetic fragrance or natural fragrance. And then also it has orange peel oil, and lavender oil, and lavender oil is not an issue for me, but in general, this is not a product I'm going to purchase just because of the scent. And then also it has quaternium 90 bentonite, which I think could be an issue for some people, and the phenoxyethanol. It has a zinc oxide at 25%, so that is a pretty high level. And other than that, it has a macadamia nut oil derivative and a coconut oil derivative in the first several ingredients. And other than that, I don't see much in this that would be motivating for me to buy it. Kinship is a brand that is sold at Credo, and so last year I took a look at the ingredient list for this, and I picked up this little sample, which I feel like I have not tried yet. And so this is called the Kinship Probiotic Sunscreen SPF 32, and so the price of it is $46 for a large size or $28 for a smaller size, and then this is just a sample. And so I think that the reason that I did go ahead and pick this one up is probably because it is called a probiotic product. And the one that I have, it says Self-Reflect Probiotic. And so maybe that is a part of the official name some of the time. And in terms of the ingredients that are in this, it does include some probiotic ingredients, including some lactobacillus ferment. And so I do like to see that. And so I think that this one has some potential. It just has a zinc oxide in it. It's non-nano at a level of 22%. And so it may be kind of on the thick side. And so I am looking forward to giving this a try. And I don't see any particular reason why this should be irritating. So the question is just how it performs. Next, we have a product called Kopari Pure Protect Stick SPF 50. It is $29, and so the scent ingredient that I see on this is farnesol, and that is an ingredient that I think is probably a little bit irritating, and so that in itself makes me disinclined to give this a try. In terms of the sunscreen that is in this, it has zinc oxide at 24%, so that is pretty thick, and this is mostly just oils and waxes and a few other ingredients. And so the oils that are in this include some coconut oil derivatives, macadamia nut oil derivative, argan oil, shea butter, sunflower oil, bisabolol, and jojoba esters. And other than that farnesol, I don't see much here that I think would be concerning. It does have some canola oil in it, and unless canola oil is organic, I am a little disinclined to use products with that in it because it tends to have glyphosate contamination, I think, and that tends to be irritating for my skin. And so in general, I'm not feeling really motivated to buy this one, but it does have some nice ingredients in it anyway. Le Prunier is a company that sells products that are based on plum kernel oil, which I do think is a really wonderful oil, but which is very, very expensive when you buy that oil from Le Prunier. And so I would suggest that if you just want to buy that kind of oil, that you buy it from a company like EverEden Botanicals, where you can get it for much less money. And I think that the quality is at least as good or maybe better. And so on the other hand, Le Prunier does make a sunscreen, and so that is something that I can't get from, for instance, EverEden Botanicals, so that makes me a little more interested in it. And this is called Plum Screen SPF 31, and it is $80, so it is really, really expensive. And so I did get this little sample, I think, on the Le Prunier website. And so this has in it non-nano zinc oxide at a really low level of only less than 5%, so I'm not sure how they get SPF 31 at that level. And then in addition, it has the plum kernel oil and plum extract and hydrolyzed plum fruit extract, as well as glycerin and a coconut oil derivative. And so in general, I thought that this had a little bit of potential, and that is why I did pick up this sample. And in terms of the ingredients that could be problematic, I do see brown algae, but I feel like I've used brown algae products in the past, and I haven't had problems with them, even in products that I have consumed or ingested. And so therefore, I think that this one looks like it's probably going to be okay, and so I'm looking forward to using this. Next, we have the Mera Ciele Sunscreen Serum, which is SPF 30, and it is $52. And it looks like it is basically mostly just a lot of different high-quality oils along with the zinc. And so the oils that are in this include moringa, grapeseed, sunflower, raspberry seed, linseed, and hemp and avocado. And so what I would say is that this one may have the potential to go rancid pretty quickly, and so if you do use it, I would want to use it up pretty fast. And for me, I think that the fact that it includes the bitter orange flower oil, that one is kind of a deal killer for me, and so I probably will not buy this one. Marie Veronique makes a lot of products that are sold through Credo, and some of their products have essential oils in them. I have tried a number of the products from them, and I wouldn't say that any of my experiences have been that great. And also these products, at least the oils and things, they do not have any preservatives in them, and so they do go bad pretty fast as well. And so this particular product is new this year, I think, and this is called the Color Free Zinc Sunscreen SPF 32, and it is $65. And I think that the reason that it is called Color Free is because it is pretty similar to the other product that they make that is a sunscreen product that is supposed to be like a tinted moisturizer, and so it does have a tint in it. And so this one does not have a tint. And it does have non-nano zinc oxide in it at 17%, and so depending on what kind of zinc they are using, it could have a white cast, but I'm not sure about that. Otherwise, the ingredients that are in this, it does include a lot of high-quality oils, which most of their products do, and that is why they go bad so fast. In general, I haven't had good enough experiences with this brand that I'm willing to pay $65 for something just to try it out. And especially I had problems with that sunscreen that I tried that was tinted, because I think that it made the wrinkles on my face look much, much worse. And so definitely I don't want something that's going to be like that. Minu is another Credo brand, and this one may not be in stock at present, but it is still listed, so probably it will come back. And this is called the Brightening Sunscreen Minerals, and it is SPF 30, and I did get this little sample by using some of my Credo points, and so I do want to give this a try, and this is priced at $58, and it's SPF 30. And so this has both non-nano titanium dioxide as well as non-nano zinc oxide. And in addition, it has a couple of different silicones in the first 6 ingredients. And so it does seem to be pretty strongly a silicone type of a product. And other than that, I'm not seeing anything on here that looks like it would be irritating. And it does have niacinamide in it and allantoin and some ginger root extract, but extracts like that are probably not going to be irritating for my skin in the same way that ginger root oil would be. And so that is why I bought this one, because it looks like probably it will be okay for my skin, and so I will give this a try sometime soon. Next, we have a sunscreen that is from a company called My Shell, and it is called Sun Shield Unscented SPF 28, and it is $26, and it has both zinc oxide and titanium dioxide in it. And in terms of the problematic ingredients, I think this Populus tremuloids bark extract, that does make me a little bit nervous. I think I may have reacted to that in a product in the past, although I'm not absolutely sure that was what I was reacting to. And then it has an ingredient that I don't know much about, which is glycerol isosterate. In terms of skincare ingredients, it has glycerin and squalane and a fermented ingredient and aloe juice and a prebiotic type of ingredient. So I would be willing to try this one, especially if I were able to get a sample or something like that. Now, Native is a drugstore brand, and they did reformulate their sunscreens this year, and so I haven't seen a lot of reviews of these new versions. And so the first one is the lotion, and this is the unscented sunscreen lotion, SPF 30, and it is $20. And it has zinc oxide at 17%, and they are not saying what kind of zinc it is. And it has caprylic capric triglyceride as the first ingredient after water and some glycerin, but other than that, I'm not seeing really any skincare ingredients in this. And in terms of the problematic ingredients, it has polyacrylamide, and I don't really like to see that, and I think that that may have been irritating for me in the past, and EWG does give it a 6. And then it has benzyl alcohol in it, which has a really mild scent and which serves as sort of a preservative, but which I'm not all that crazy about either. And then it has Stereth 2 and Laureth 7, and I think that those conceivably could have some contamination. And so even though this is reasonably priced, I don't think that this is a product that I probably will go out of my way to give a try to. And then Native also has a sunscreen spray with more simple ingredients, and so this is the unscented sunscreen spray for SPF 30, and it is $20. And they do have a lot of scented versions of their sunscreens, and those do just list fragrance, and so those are not ones that I will be trying. And so in terms of this sunscreen spray, it has zinc oxide at 20%, and then it has some coconut oil derivatives and glycerin, and then also some sunflower oil. And so I guess if I were going to try one of these Native products, it would probably be this spray, but I am not really confident that I would like it that much. Now, I do have a couple of products from Neutrogena that I was intending to try out this year, and at least one of these I think is on the market this year, and I haven't seen the other one stocked, but maybe it is still to be coming in. And so the one that I have seen is the Neutrogena Mineral Invisible Daily Face Lotion SPF 30, and it is $12. And sometimes I do pretty well with the Neutrogena products, even though they are kind of drugstore products. And so this one has both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it. And in terms of other ingredients that are in this, I'm not seeing a lot in this one that I think would actually be good for my skin. And it does have some silicone in it, and it has some phenoxyethanol in it, and some propylene glycol. And so even though it is really inexpensive, I don't know that this is going to be a really good formula, but I've had enough success with a few drugstore maker products from Neutrogena that I did think I would give it a try. And then the other product I think is fairly similar, except that this one has a tint in it. And so this is called Pure Screen Mineral UV Tint Face Liquid, and it is SPF 30, and it is priced, last I saw, at $17. And so again, I think that the ingredients for this one are pretty much the same. It has a few more different kinds of dimethicone in it. But in general, I wanted to try these products because they are inexpensive, but I do think that they're probably, in terms of using them as skincare, they're really not including any kind of ingredients like that. The next product is from a company that is sort of semi-clean beauty, and this I picked up at Blue Mercury during the sale. And so this is called the OG Protect Skin Enhancing Primer, and it is SPF 40, and the full price is $49. And so in terms of the ingredients, it has zinc oxide, and although it has a really long ingredient list, longer than I always feel comfortable with, when I really looked at it pretty closely, I am not really seeing any ingredients in this that I think probably would be problematic. And this does have some algae in it, which makes me a little bit nervous, but I am willing to give it a try because it usually is not contaminated just some of the time. It has raspberry ketones in it, and the product that I know has raspberry ketones in it is the Dior Blush, and that does smell pretty strongly of raspberries, so this one might smell of raspberries also. And it also has frankincense resin extract in it, but it is an extract rather than an oil, and I think that as different kinds of ingredients like that go, I think I do okay with frankincense. And it has rosemary leaf extract. But in general, I think that I'm not seeing any ingredients that really scare me a whole lot. And in terms of the first 6 ingredients, it has aloe and jojoba and glycerin. And then in addition, it has a prebiotic in it and some vitamin C. And not the ascorbic acid, but a milder form of vitamin C, and jojoba, and gooseberry juice, which is a little interesting, and cranberry seed oil. Next, we have a product that is called the One Kind Solar Drops SPF 55, and it is $48. And from the ingredient list, I kind of feel like this is a cream, but maybe it is kind of a thin cream with a lot of oil in it. And so it has non-nano zinc oxide at a whopping 24.5%. And in terms of other ingredients, it has a macadamia nut oil derivative and coconut oil derivatives and prickly pear leaf cell extract, so it should be a little bit anti-aging in theory. And desert date kernel oil, I don't think I've ever seen that in a product before. And sea buckthorn extract and glycerin and sweet almond oil and squalane. And in terms of problematic ingredients, it has patchouli oil in it, and I think that that is a no-go for me. And also sweet marjoram leaf oil and lavender oil, and some phenoxyethanol. And so I think that because of the scent ingredients, I will be skipping this one, but I am a little bit intrigued by the skincare ingredients that are in this. And then next we have a product that is called Papatui Facial Moisturizer SPF 30, and this is $10. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think that I found this on the Target website, and that they were specifically suggesting that this is a sunscreen for men, even though it doesn't actually say that on the bottle. And so it has a zinc oxide at 17% in it, and then some glycerin. And other skincare ingredients that are in this include panthenol, squalane, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, ceramide. And in general, I'm not seeing anything in this that I think should be problematic, and I don't see anything in this that makes me think that women cannot wear it. Maybe it is because it doesn't have any scent ingredients that some men might find that to be more attractive. And so in general, I think that, especially for the $10 price, that this ingredient list looks like it could be pretty good. So I would be willing to try this one, actually. Next, we have a product that is called the Pipette Mineral Sunscreen SPF 50, and it is $16, and I'm not seeing any ingredients in this that should be concerning. The zinc level is at 20%, and so that does look pretty high, and so I'm not sure how this sunscreen will perform. And in terms of the skincare ingredients, I see squalane and some glycerin, and so in general I think that for the price it looks like it's probably a fairly good product in terms of not being irritating, and I would be interested in finding out how this one performs. Next, we have a product that is called Raw Elements Daily Moisturizer SPF 30 for $23. And in terms of the scent ingredients, it has a form of lemongrass in it, and I don't think that my skin does very well with lemongrass, and I don't even really like the smell of lemongrass. And so between that and the rosemary oil, I think that this is a no-go for me, and it also has benzyl alcohol in it, which can be a little annoying as well. In terms of the other ingredients, it has non-nano zinc oxide at 20%, and so that is pretty high, maybe more high than I would like. And also sunflower oil and Brassica campestris aleurotes 40 oil. That is tongue oil and also rapeseed oil, so I'm not sure at all what that is like. And then also hemp seed oil, argan oil, and some cocoa butter. And so in general, I don't think that this sounds like it's a good product for me, if only because of that lemongrass. Next, we have a product that is called Sente, and it is Even Tone Mineral Sunscreen SPF 36, and it is $75. And I actually picked this up, I think, at Target, and this was about to expire, and so I do still want to give this a try. And it cost very little at Target, and I got the version that is supposed to be for medium or dark skin, and so it is really just an experiment. And in terms of the ingredient list, this is a really heavy silicone type of a product, but otherwise I am not seeing any other ingredients in this that I think would likely be problematic. It does have one cyclic silicone in it. And in terms of positive ingredients that are in this, it really just has glycerin. And other than that, I'm not seeing anything that I think would really be helpful. And so I will give this a try, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to like it. Now, SkinCeuticals is another company that is owned by L'Oreal, and so that makes me feel like right off the bat that this is not going to be a good product for me. But if we look at the ingredient list, this includes both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. And dimethicone is the first ingredient, and it also includes some talc in it. I'm not sure why they put talc in it, but that's not necessarily a no-go for me. And in terms of skincare ingredients, it has a bit of jojoba oil in it. And in terms of problematic ingredients, I am mostly just seeing a lot of silicone in this product. I do see PEG8 laurate, which could be an issue, but somehow with the L'Oreal product company products that I have tried, even when they don't obviously look like they have problematic ingredients in them, they generally are irritating in my experience. And so if I could get this one for free or for not very much money, I would give it a try, but I am a little bit dubious whether I actually would like it. But at least it doesn't have any kind of fragrance in it or anything that looks like it is obviously going to be really problematic. Now, Sky and Soul is a brand that a lot of people seem to be talking about, and this is tallow-based. And I think a couple of people actually did bring this up to me and asked me if I would give it a try, and so I did buy a container of this, and this is called the Face and Body Sunscreen SPF 50. And so in terms of the ingredient list, it has non-nano zinc oxide at 25%. And then other than that, it really mostly just seems to have oils in the tallow. And so the tallow is grass-fed, grass-finished, and then it has jojoba oil and esters and some beeswax and a little bit of a starch and a fermented ingredient. And that's pretty much it. And so I do expect this to be somewhat on the greasy side, and I'm wondering if it might be appropriate for my face, but I think maybe it might be more appropriate for my body. And so I will be hopefully giving this a try soon. The Solara Fortune Teller Sunscreen is another product that I picked up during the Blue Mercury sale, and so this is SPF 30, and the regular price is $64. And I was interested in this product because I am not saying that it has any ingredients in this that concern me, and so I am hoping that at the very least it will be good for my skin. It does have zinc oxide at a level of 22%, and so that is pretty high, and it probably will be pretty thick. And in addition, it has some coconut oil derivatives, glycerin, and aloe leaf juice. And then in terms of other ingredients, it has a mild form of vitamin C in it, sodium hyaluronate, argan oil, shea extract, red raspberry seed oil, apple fruit extract, and hydrolyzed pea protein. And so in general, I just thought that this ingredient list looked pretty clean and that I would be surprised if it caused problems. And so I don't know how it's going to perform or how I am going to like it, but I thought it was at least worth a try. Now, Stream to See is a brand that interests me because I think that these people are at least as concerned about sunscreen boosters as I am, and they have tried to do a lot of education with regard to this topic. And so none of their products do include any chemical sunscreens or chemical sunscreen boosters in them. And so I do think that I need to sort of pour through the ingredient list for some of these and to figure out which ones might be the most appropriate for me to buy and give a try to this year. And while I am editing this video, I will go through the different products that they offer and see if I can pull out a couple of them to make slides about so you can take a look at those ingredient lists. Sunbum is a company that does make a lot of different sunscreens, and there is one of them that does not include any chemical sunscreens or chemical sunscreen boosters. And so that one is the Mineral Tinted Sunscreen Face Lotion, and it is $21. And I do suggest being careful because some of the other products from them look like they are fairly similar. And so even I get confused when I look at the offerings that they have. They have both titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in this sunscreen, and then cyclopentasiloxane, which is a cyclic silicone, is the first ingredient. And so this is a heavy silicone sunscreen, and it does have some additional silicone in it besides that cyclic one. And in terms of the problematic ingredient list, I don't see anything other than the silicone that I think is problematic. It does have some rosemary leaf extract, which probably is not a problem. And in terms of additional extracts, it includes some sunflower extract, but other than that, I don't see any other skincare ingredients in this. And then Suntegrity sells a bunch of different sunscreens, and I did order a number of different samples from their website last year just so I could give some different products a try. And I think that this 5-in-1 tinted sunscreen SPF 30, that may have been one of the ones that I tried out in that video on tinted moisturizers with the Jane Iredale Skin Tuition product. And they also have a product that is called the Suntegrity Moisturizing Mineral Face Sunscreen and Primer, and that is SPF 30, and it is $48. And I do have a sample of this, and I have not tried it yet, and this one does have sweet orange essential oil in it and tangerine essential oil, and I would say that if I can tolerate essential oils, that those would be the ones that I tolerate the best, those citrus ones. It also has silicone in it, and this ingredient that is called polyaminopropyl biguanine, I don't know anything about that one, so I'm not sure if I would be able to tolerate that or not. And again, this does have a number of good skincare ingredients in it, and I am happy to see that astaxanthin on the ingredient list for this. And then there is also a spray, and this is called the Suntegrity Milk Sun Serum Spray SPF 50, and it's $50. And I actually do have this in a spray that I haven't tried yet. And so this one does not have any scent in it, it looks like, and so that part is good. And some of the oils that are in this look like they are probably pretty good quality oils and that my skin would do well with them. And it does have both zinc oxide and titanium oxide in it. And so as a product that is basically just a lot of high quality oils go with some sunscreen, mineral sunscreen in it, I think that this one might be okay. And so I will try to give this a try this year. And then there's also a product which I do not have, which is called the Suntegrity Mineral Sun Drops SPF 30. That is $38. I'm not seeing any problematic ingredients in this one. And it has just the non-nano zinc oxide without any titanium dioxide in it. And it has jojoba esters, glycerin, and a couple of other skincare ingredients. And so that is another option. And then Suntegrity also has a stick product, and this is called the Mineral Sport Sun Stick SPF 30. It is $12. And so this one, I don't like the fact that it has canola oil and soybean oil in it because I feel like those might be a little irritating because of the agricultural contamination. It just has zinc in it without titanium dioxide, and then also beeswax and olive oil, and so probably I wouldn't purchase this one. Think is a brand that has a number of different kinds of sunscreen options, and so last year I did pick up this one, which is called the SPF 30 Everyday Face sunscreen, and I don't recall being all that crazy about this one. And when I picked out 12 different sunscreens to demonstrate in my video last year and to recommend, I kind of decided to pull this one because I wasn't sure that I liked it all that much. And so what I want to do this year is to go through all of the ingredient lists for all of these different Think products and to pull out the ones that I think might be the best for me and to give them a little bit more of a try, because this is a popular brand and a lot of people do like these sunscreens. And I do believe that all of the Think sunscreens do not include any chemical sunscreens or sunscreen boosters in them. Now, Tizo is another company that makes a variety of different sunscreens that can be a little bit overwhelming. And so I actually did pick up this little sunscreen sampler last year, and so I do want to try these out. And so of the products that they offer, the first one is Tizo Ultra Zinc Tinted. This is $45, and this does include some cyclic silicones in it, as well as a number of other silicones, and so this is a high silicone product. I am not all that crazy about this ingredient, which is triethanolamine. I think that one might be irritating for me. And other than that, I am not seeing any ingredients in here that look like they are really skincare ingredients, except for glycerin and some vitamin C. And then they also do have an untinted version of that, and that is basically the same formula except for the tint. And then another product that they have is Tizo 3 Primer Sunscreen Tinted SPF 40, and that is $47. And again, they're using two different kinds of cyclic silicone and a lot of other silicone in this. And so I don't know that this is really all that different than the one that I just mentioned. I think that all of these are very similar to one another, and that is one thing that gets me a little bit confused. And so I do want to give this a try, but I'm not sure that this is going to be my favorite just because they do seem to have their formulas be really high in silicone. Now, I'll tell you, True Botanicals is a product company that makes quite expensive products, and I tried really hard to make their products work back in the days when I thought that I should be able to tolerate fragrance products, and so I didn't really do very well with any of their products, and I sort of have given up on them, which is really too bad because they do smell good to me, and I think that they do perform well, and they do have really good ingredients except for all those scents that are in them. And I think that that's probably the case with regard to this sunscreen as well. This is the Skin Barrier Sun Shield SPF 30, and it is $65. And I think that this one is a good sunscreen, but it does have phenyl alcohol in it, and so that is just a little bit irritating for me. That is that rose derivative that, in this case, it might actually be derived from roses, but it's still just a little bit irritating. And so I am keeping this for the time being because I want to demonstrate it so you can see what it looks like on me, because I think it's not a bad sunscreen in terms of how it performs. And then after I do that, then probably I should send this to a friend of mine who can use this, because it is a nice product and it is kind of sad not to be getting some use out of it. And then next we have two products from a brand that is called True Skin. And so the first one is the Mineral Sunscreen, and it says C on it because it does have some vitamin C in it, and it is SPF 30, and it is $20. And I am not seeing any ingredients on this one that make me think that I would not be able to tolerate it. It does have phenoxyethanol in it, and the zinc level is 21%. And in terms of skincare ingredients, it has squalane, aloe leaf juice, sodium ascorbyl phosphate, which is a mild form of vitamin C, and a peptide. And so in general, that does make me a little bit interested in it, just because I'm not seeing any reason why I shouldn't be able to use it. And then they also make a product that is called the True Skin Facial Serum, and this is also SPF 30, and it also has some vitamin C in it, and it's $25. And this one, again, I'm not seeing any ingredients in it that make it a no-go for me, and it does have phenoxyethanol in it, of course. And in terms of the ingredients that are good in this one, it has glycerin and niacinamide and sodium hyaluronate and prickly pear stem extract. That is an ingredient that I do think I like. And a few other skincare ingredients, including some ceramides. So I think that this one could be good, and I would be willing to give it a try, and $25 is relatively reasonably priced. There is a new product that is being sold through Sephora that some people seem to be interested in, and this is called U Beauty. And so the U Beauty sunscreen product is called the U Beauty Multimodal Defender, and it's SPF 30, and it is $134. And all of these U Beauty products are really expensive. And the issue that I have with this is that it has a synthetic fragrance in it that is like supposed to be a jasmine note. And so that is enough for me not to be interested in the product at all. both because I don't think I would like the scent and because I do think it's probably going to be irritating for me. Other than that, I'm not seeing any ingredients that I feel pretty confident would be irritating, and I do think that it has a lot of nice ingredients in it in terms of things like jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, shea butter, and then it also has a couple of different kinds of vitamin C and a couple of different kinds of hyaluronic acid and a peptide. And so even if it didn't have that fragrance in it, I think I would be hard-pressed to spend $134 for this product, but they are putting that synthetic jasmine scent in all of their products, and I think even in the eye cream, and so that is really unfortunate. And there's a company that is called U2 that has a couple of different sunscreens that I would consider. And so the first one is the Daily Moisturizing Face Sunscreen SPF 30, and it is $48. And it has non-nano zinc oxide at 21%, so that's pretty high. And in terms of skincare ingredients, it has squalane, an olive oil derivative, jojoba oil, sesame oil, some ascorbic acid, so it has some vitamin C in it, and also sunflower oil and sodium hyaluronate. So it is a nice mix of skincare ingredients. And in terms of ingredients that I would find problematic, it does have some algae in it, so I worry a little bit about that. And it has unspecified vegetable oil and benzyl alcohol and glyceryl bainate. And so all of those seem to have a slight chance of being irritating for me. And so I'm not really eager, especially at that $48 price point, to run out and buy it. But I think it's an option and that maybe it would be worth trying. And then they have a product that is a balm, and it's more like in a little tin. And this is called the U2 Hydrating Sun Balm, and it is SPF 50, and it's $29. And so this one actually has a number of different oils in it that actually are really good quality oils, including, again, the sweet almond oil, which is appealing to me, and shea butter and coconut oil, and also some cloud mushroom, which I think is kind of interesting. And so I don't think that I would put a balm like this on my face, but I might be interested in putting it on my body. And in terms of the ingredients that might be problematic, they're really the same ones as in the other one, including the algae extract and some of the glyceryl bainate, which I think could be an issue for me sometimes, but more on my face, I think. And then U2 also has a moisturizing body sunscreen that comes with a pump, and this is SPF 30, and it is $68. And it seems to me that this is very similar to the others in terms of both the problematic ingredients and also in terms of the skincare ingredients. So I do feel like that is really expensive, and I'm not sure that this would be a good enough product that would make me want to buy it, but it is another option. Now, Vacation has a whole lot of different sunscreen products, and they have one product that does not have any sunscreen boosters or chemical sunscreens in it, and this is called the Vacation Mineral Lotion SPF 30, and it is $18. And so this one has zinc oxide at about 16%, and in terms of skincare ingredients, it has glycerin, niacinamide, and so it's fairly basic, and it has also some aloe leaf and allantoin in it. And I do not see any ingredients in this that I think are problematic, and it does not have any silicones in it. And so as relatively reasonably priced sunscreens go, I would be willing to give this one a try. And then Vanicream is one of those brands that is like CeraVe, that people always say that I should try, and that it is supposed to be for sensitive skin, and that when I have tried it, I have not done all that well with the products. And so that is a reason why I would be hesitant to buy this one. But this is Vanicream Facial Moisturizer SPF 30, and it is $14. And the main ingredient is zinc oxide, and it is 19.5%. And then there's also squalene and glycerin and several different kinds of ceramides. And in terms of problematic ingredients, it does have silicone in it, dimethicone. And other than that, I am not sure that any of these ingredients that I've listed here would be really problematic, although I'm not sure that I really like seeing them on an ingredient list either. And so I would be willing to give it a try, but I don't know that I really want to go buy it myself for $14. And then finally, we have a sunscreen that is from Well People, and this is called the Day Gleamer Sunscreen SPF 34, and it is $26. And Well People, by the way, is owned by e.l.f., but it is sort of a clean beauty company. And so this one does have a whole lot of essential oils in it, including orange peel oil, lime oil, lemon peel oil, limonene, bergamot oil, and also farnesol, and ginger root oil, and hops strobial. I'm not sure quite what that is. But in any case, all of those different kinds of oils make it a no-go for me, but I bet it does smell really good. That sounds like a really nice combination, but it just would be irritating for me. And then in terms of the ingredients, it has zinc oxide at about 14%, and a couple of different coconut oil derivatives, and argan oil. That does sound good. And then other skincare ingredients in this include niacinamide, squalane, aloe juice, panthenol, tocopherol, bisabolol, a vitamin C version that is kind of on the gentle side, and a fermented ingredient. And so my feeling about Well People is that they seem to be targeting younger people for the most part, and so I can see why younger people that do like a scented product might do well with this one, because it doesn't look like it's greasy, and it probably performs really well, and it doesn't have a lot of silicone in it. So I think that if you are looking for a sunscreen that smells good and your skin is not sensitive to those kinds of ingredients, I think this one might be okay. And now I'm going to be showing the list that I put together of all of the mineral sunscreens that I have found so far. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And this has been a really big video to put together, and so I am glad to be at the end of it. And if you have tried any sunscreens that you have either liked or that you haven't liked, then I would love it if you would share your comments so that we can all learn from one another. And if there are any sunscreens that I have missed, then please do let me know about that so that I can focus on those in the future. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then I would suggest that you might want to do that, and then also to check your subscriptions feed, because YouTube really does not like to show videos to people. They most likely like to show them shorts, and so that's kind of frustrating for all of us creators. In addition, if you like the video, then please do hit like, and I will be putting my sunscreen playlist at the very end of the video. And so if you're looking for specific reviews of sunscreens or more information on sunscreen boosters, then you can check that playlist. And Coco and I do love you very much, and so thank you very much for watching, and have a happy spring. Goodbye. Ba-da-ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum.